All right, every morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Some of printing.
Yeah,
Sounds like a dot matrix printer going off over there.
It does.
Todd's gonna have to hit the button if he wants to talk. He's actually working. The rest of us are not working. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live show. We are to start off a little different this morning. You got all these ugly faces, and you got Joni. So
Another ugly face.
I wouldn't go that far. But
Stop hitting your hand, Todd. Come on now. You.
so we got a little bit of an ask this morning. So Joni wants to. She's much better at explain her own story than me. So got a link in the description below to her wish list, and she's going to tell you why there's a wish list in the description below.
So, as everyone knows that follows Scott, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in October of 2018. And with triple negative breast cancer, it is one of the more aggressive forms of breast cancer. And so every 6 months, I've been having my PET scans and doing very well. But with triple negative, my recurrence rate dropped significantly after we hit the 5 year mark, which is fantastic. And my diagnosis date was on October 19th, 2018. So since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and I'm reaching this significant milestone, we wanted to do something to honor that, to celebrate it. And one of the ways that we can do that is by helping me. And I'm sure Scott's probably talked about this, but I do volunteer at Clearview Cancer Institute, which is where I was treated for cancer and received my chemo. And I volunteer in the infusion center, which is a 72 chair infusion center, and we're our main location, and we have 13 locations. Hey, baby. Um, the snacks and refreshments that we provide are limited due to the size of our cart, basically. But hours in a chemo chair can be very long, and we don't have a lot of options around that are quick. And a lot of times, patients are left there for hours without a caregiver to be able to provide or bring lunch in. So, the things that we provide or that are provided are peanut butter crackers, pretzels, graham crackers, juices, and that's it. And so we we actually volunteers and patients donate a lot of different snacks to have some kind of variety for our patients, and we all get so excited when we do get donations for other snacks, and our patients appreciate it too. So I created an Amazon wish list of a variety of different snack options that would be great for our patients, things that they enjoy, and things um, that they would like to see on the snack cart from time to time. Um, and I made this wish list and set it up with so many different price points that you know you can buy a $3 box of Little Debbie cakes, and that would be so incredible, and I would be so grateful for that. So I have items from $2.50 for a box of Little Debbie cakes up to $30 for a big bag of candy. And if you could just support me during this month so that I can celebrate making it to the 5 year mark, because we're not promised tomorrow. I would be, you know, forever grateful. It means so much to me to see our community come together, for me and for others that have gone through this. And, um, you know, again, I see 72 patients twice a week, and the chair turnover is high during the day. So there's a lot of people that I see on a regular basis.
Just the number of patients. Just stop and think about it. It's 5 days a week. Average is 2 to 3 hours. 72 people. That's a lot of people fighting cancer, and that's just Huntsville, Alabama, folks. I mean, cancer is
we have 13 locations.
I'm wearing the shirt to remind you guys that Pat D is one of our own, is currently fighting his own fight for breast cancer, and again, the second time. So the one thing I can tell you about the infusion room is the very first time we were there, that the volunteers, perform a great service. They're just answering questions that nobody will ask a nurse or anybody, because, and the fear of the first time you sit in the chair for the person receiving treatment and the caregiver is great. So if you can help out, it would be greatly appreciated. There are lots of people that they don't know it. They'll get there. They don't know they are going to be there for 4 hours, and then all of a sudden, the snacks are limited. CCI, who is the Cancer Institute, they spend $100,000 a month on snacks, and it's just barely to get by. So,
and again, that's 72 chairs with multiple turnover, and we usually have a fill rate of about 90% at any given time. So that's 90% of our 72 chairs filled, and that's a lot of patients, you guys. And again, especially on the first trips, they don't know what they're in for until they're in for it. And it's just like we had a patient last week who was new and was finishing one treatment and starting another, and he was like, "Oh, well, we can run out in between treatments." And I said, "Oh, no, you won't. There's no time." And they were just kind of taken aback because I just straight up told them. And it's, we offer perspective, we offer compassion, we offer empathy, because we have been there. And the special thing about our volunteers is that you have to be a patient or a caregiver of a cancer patient in order to volunteer with us. Now, we do have some very special college students that volunteer during the summer as well, but they are always with one of us.
But they're also going on to be doctors.
They are also going on to pursue nursing, pre-med. One of my student volunteers is actually her first year at Howard University in Washington, D.C. right now, and I am so proud of her. And so we just Nate said if snacking were a religion, he'd convert. Snacking is a religion with us, because we have very little else to do. But I just would love so much just to see the support rallying around this month in particular and this milestone. So I appreciate y'all so much, and we thank you guys for just sharing all the love in the world with us. It meant so much to me when I was going through my own journey. So I'm going to turn it back over to Scott, and y'all can talk about, fun stuff.
Yeah, eBay.
But my stuff is fun. Yeah. So y'all have a great day. I love you guys. Thanks, baby.
Take your critters with you.
I'll take them with me.
Bye, Johnny.
Bye.
Bye.
It's hard to believe it's been 5 years. It really it's hard to believe it.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
I can't either, and my doctor is so excited. I saw him yesterday. I have an appointment next week. or this week, so I saw him.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. But that is a wonderful facility. That we did not meet one person that wasn't nice or showed a lot of compassion and concern. We even talked to the head nurse, because Johnny was there for 4 months getting treated, 4 or 5 months, and she said we asked her about that, and she said, "Yeah, people that don't fit in and aren't nice don't make it very long with us because we don't have to fire them; they just leave on their own." So it's if you've never experienced that, I hope you never do. It is it is not a fun thing, and the fact that Joni called her so early, she would have told you it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ladies, please get your mammograms. Joni actually found hers on a self exam between mammograms. We don't want to lose any of you. 1 in 8 ladies will experience breast cancer in their life. It can be treated. The sooner you find it, the much better your outcome is. She was stage 3 because triple negative is so crazy. But yeah, Roman. So anytime pick a Roman. If y'all think that Roman is a little insane in the chat, holy crap! Wait, meet him in person, folks. Meet him in person with some vodka in him. Holy crap, Roman!
I've met Roman in person, but minus the vodka, so I probably don't have as good a perspective.
I was at the Reseller rally this weekend. Had a lot of fun. Met a lot of people, and I missed a lot of people. Roman did. I can promise you, Roman didn't miss a soul. Roman met everybody twice, at least. I mean, maybe more outgoing than you, John. I mean, definitely louder than you. I know you find that hard to believe. Oh yeah, a Russian, or I think he's Russian with vodka. Yeah, good luck trying to be louder than him.
So if we order snacks on the wish list, does it go straight to the center?
No, it'll come here and then Johnny will take it over there.
Oh, okay.
If stuff like that gets sent to the center, she was talking to the volunteer coordinator yesterday, and she's like, "That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, please make sure it's to your house because we have trouble with stuff disappearing here. Because it's stuff that's going to be handed out, and to make sure it gets to. They have like a supply closet, so Johnny will take it and put it in the supply closet, and it'll be able to be passed out. Yeah, so we do this. Joni stops once a week and grabs one of the big things of candy at Costco. I was fortunate. I was doing my shipping Monday. FedEx was $5 cheaper, and I never use FedEx. But I'm like, you know what, $5. I'll run this to the Walgreens down the street. Walgreens had the footballs, the Reese's footballs, the king size. They're like $2.99. They had them 90% off, and they had 23 of them. So for 29 cents each, I picked up. So it's stuff like that whenever I'm out and about, I don't do as much RA anymore, unless it's for a purpose like that. I will pick up stuff if I find it, but. So James Racky, what a great question. How often would you suggest resetting a promoted listing campaign, and what are the benefits of doing so? Before they come up with the dynamic rate, James, I would tell you do it every day. John is fanatical that he has employees do it twice a day. But with the invention of the dynamic rate, they change it for you. The whole purpose of resetting the rate was that, and redoing it every day, was the fact that so if I was to, say Steve listed something today and put it promoted at 8%, and I came in this afternoon and the same item in the same category, it doesn't have to be identical, but same category, and put 9%. Now Steve is behind in me, and so the whole idea of resetting it every day is to allow some change on your account, which eBay used to favor greatly, and also to put a different number on there so that they can restart. The dynamic rate has changed that. I've been told, and I haven't experienced it yet, if there's any benefit to redoing it every day anymore. Maybe once a week. Yeah, Phil, don't send it to my name. so the account will come to Joni anyway because I don't have our Prime account in my name. Back in the day when I started, there was some questions about everything in the same name. So we put the Prime account in Johnny's name, and then the business account's in my name, just so that it's easier to tell them apart. So there were people that were losing Prime accounts and stuff because they were doing bad things, and I didn't want to take a chance. So our Prime account is.
Makes 100% sense.
Victoria, I think when you check out, it automatically puts our address.
When you check out, it'll say Joni's wish list, and then it'll say Meridianville, Alabama, and then it'll say rest of address hidden. I'm assuming it'll go to.
Yeah, I got that. So Jersey Jane says she's currently receiving chemo infusions every other Sunday. It's no fun. It takes up the entire day. Jersey Jane, we hope that it's going well for you. We'll add you to my prayer list. It is not a ton of fun. So that day, whenever Joni will be there 2 to 4 hours, depending on which of the medicine she was getting. And some days she would have to go get a 2 to 4 became 6 to 8. And so the thing that was so sad for us is Joni had a very good diagnosis, because early on we knew it wasn't in her lymph nodes, and with her doing a double mastectomy, we knew that it was the chances were great that the recurrence rate was not going to be great, and there's going to be a lot of success. But by the time she finished, I was pushing her in a wheelchair, and she didn't have the strength the last 3 treatments, and it was every other week to walk in there. Because by the end of the 2 weeks before you get to the next one, every week kind of compounded, and she got weaker and weaker and weaker. And I was very fortunate that the big video, I tell people this all the time, that the big Monopoly video, that was 5 years ago, and that was a blessing on so many people you'll see in the chat who were reselling because of that video, or were introduced to reselling because of that video. And it touched a lot of lives, but it also allowed me to go to every appointment, take her everywhere, because that video paid out. Currently, it's right at $40,000 that one video paid out from YouTube. It replaced my income for the 4 months and allowed me to be there. And I still think people, they wonder why I do a lot of the things I do. I focus more on the lifestyle reselling. And what reselling, you got to have your own why and your own goal. What you're going to. John set to build a big business to take care of his family. That's exactly what he's done. I decided that I didn't want people anymore. Manage people. I wanted to be able to just forge my own way and have time with my family. And as I got off the road, I sort of lost track of that. And then breast cancer reminded me what is important in life. Yeah, it was good seeing you, Tamara. So Joni tried she said the syrup is wonderful, and to be careful about the moonshine because she said it's so smooth you'll never know you're drunk until it's too late. It's flag, how often should you end and relist? So that's another one that is, from what everybody's saying, there's no benefit to that anymore.
It's actually a disservice depending on how many you have, and of an item, because my listings are in Google.
Right. So here's what I would tell you about that is that you used to get some benefit to redoing it once a week, every couple of days. You'd get the newly listed bump, and we just slapped him on his hand again.
Todd's cooking bacon over there or something.
Yeah, you would get the newly listed bump and be moved up in search. But remember that the farther we go down the technology list, everybody considers AI as what ChatGPT and what it can do. But remember, AI can go in. I was looking at filters yesterday there is an AI program that will look at a video. You can put a video in it, and it will go through and cut out all the uhs and ums and ands. And
No way.
there's 18 different words
Sorry.
it'll look for and cut out. And that's using the AI's model to go through and search to do all that stuff. So I tell you that to tell you that eBay is using the same thing. So if you restart a listing, if you end and relist without doing any changes, it's going to understand it's going to see the same listing, and it's not going to improve your position in search. It's just going to, because each of your listings, from what Josh, if y'all not listen to Josh Galt, he's Monday through Friday at noon Central Time. He has somebody reach out to him that's a programmer and understands eBay and the way from a 0 to a 1 scale, and 1 is the bottom one. I can't remember if 1 is better or 0 is better, but if you don't improve the listing, it recognizes the listing and it keeps the same score in the search metrics. And so, if you're gonna, I would suggest that if you're not like John and you don't have a ton of the same products over and over, and you want to re-index in these things, take the time to look at the listing and improve the listing. Figure out why it hasn't sold in the 30 or 60 or 90 days. Fix the price, fix the pictures. For God's sakes, fix the item. And I've got a great video I put out. I was testing the new iPhone. It's 9 ways to optimize an eBay listing, and it really goes through each one of those. Oh my Lord, what has Steve done?
That's a new iPhone feature.
Oh, is it? I haven't figured that one out yet. But the one thing I can tell you is everybody item specifics. I look at it completely different. Most YouTubers will tell you, and remember, free information is really worth what you pay for it. Just do the bare minimums. I'm not going to build eBay's catalog. All they want the specific for is so that they can feed their AI engine and so they can make descriptions. Okay, that may be true. But the one thing I can tell you is, especially if you listen on the phone, every time you fill in a item specific, it tells you how many searches that's specific that people are looking for. And so if you do the bare minimum, you're at the bare minimum number of searches. If you put in additional information, you show up in other searches because people are trying to find item. If you got a pair of shoes, okay, so if you've got a hat, and the hat, if you're listing 10 hats, and you just pick multicolor on all 10 of them and list 10 of them as multicolor, thinking, man, that's going to be easy. I'm just going to get through this. It's going to make it much more quicker to list. I've got 10 of them listed today. eBay is going to reward me for listing 10. You've done yourself a disservice, because if I'm looking for blue, multicolor is not going to show you blue. If it's a
Nobody
red hat,
searches by that term either. Nobody searches for multicolor. They search for blue, red, green, yellow.
but that is a choice, and people pick the generic ones. And so understand that the eBay is broken. I get it, and that's what I talk about in that video. So check it out. But the one thing I can tell you is if you're not doing your part, if you're not making sure these listings are complete, you've got a new item and you stuck with the one picture, which is the stock listing. First of all, I think you're a drop shipper. I'm probably not going to buy from you. The search allows you 24 pictures. Put 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a front, side, back. Take some different pictures from different angles. The more some of these things, the number of pictures is part of how they evaluate an item. Nate, 100% crop. Okay, so crop the photos before you upload them, and that's crop in the camera. I talk about that in the video as well, because if you crop them using eBay's crop feature, you lose some of the quality, and then you can't get down and see it. Use the 1-to-1, crop as close as you can with your camera or phone, whatever you're using to take the picture, and then upload it. You'll be amazed that your pictures are so much better if you everybody worries about the background, but then you'll take the picture from here to the street, and it'll be some little bitty thing, and then you'll mess with it in their editing, and you destroy any quality that's in that picture.
I try to get in as close as I can in the original photo without having to crop anything.
You've got
That's
these
the
phones
best way.
that'll take amazing pictures, and the one thing I'll tell you about this 15, holy hell, the pictures it'll take. This is from the ship. I don't know how well this can come across, but that was from the boat Saturday night after they shot off fireworks in downtown Cincinnati. As it picked up the smoke behind the buildings, the detail you can zoom in. I've got 4 or 5 pictures like this. They're just absolutely insane the way the smoke waffles around the buildings and it picks up all, and it's able to, use these cameras. You've got a 16 megapixel camera, and you're destroying all the image quality by using their imaging software. Lisa C can't get a word in edgewise. What is she talking about?
Me.
Oh, if don't let me get Lisa. Let's understand this. If Grumpy had something to say, there ain't nobody stopping him from getting into it. Sorry, you haven't met him in person and known him all these years. If he's got something to say, there's only one way I could delete. I'd have to boot him out to stop. That would be the only way.
Craig's asking about AI backgrounds. I've done it. Back before anybody else was really doing it, I found a program that would give me a background. It looked like it was sitting on a table when it wasn't. I've had some success with that, but now everybody's doing it. So I don't know what the success rate would be now.
Yeah, if you don't like your background, there are programs that'll put a different color back there and with your image. I don't do that. I just take the picture and with a white background and do my best to show you the picture.
Here's what I did, and I'll be 100% honest. What I did, I didn't want to take a photo of this particular item because I was lazy that day. So I downloaded one from the internet and I used an AI background. Now, that was to set it apart from every other drop shipper looking link. So, and it worked for me, but I don't suggest doing things like that because it's not right. You should still take your.
So Hustle Man, I would argue with you about Team Samsung or whatever, but you do realize that I list all my eBay pictures with all my eBay and everything with an S21 Ultra. You realize that, right? I don't care one way or the other about the phones. The lovely one who just left likes the fact that I have an iPhone and she can video and do all the craziness she does, and I have Mac computers. I guess 2 months ago I purchased a 2013 iMac that sits over there. It's my shipping computer, and I upgraded and put a patch on it so it would run Mac OS 13. I'm on a Mac here. There's a Mac inside. There's an iPad right there. Listen to music. So I have everything Apple for the eco. Just because it's the video, I started with video editing. That's when it's easier to edit a video on an iMac, in my opinion. It's definitely much cheaper. You pay the $300 for Final Cut Pro, and then you've got Final Cut Pro
in perpetuity forever.
Except for the iPad, they charge you $5 a month if you use the iPad version. So
I guess I won't use the iPad version.
I don't use the iPad version. So, like, should you use your phone? It doesn't really matter. I know you're being cute or whatever, but use what you got. Remember, I don't know if it's been updated, but for the longest time, 8 megapixels was the max that the eBay system would handle. Remember how many, and just remember, if they went from 8 megapixel pictures to 10, you think it's not a big deal. But think of the millions of listings that are on there and what all of a sudden, there's a reason why when you make an Amazon listing, they tell you that it can only go to so many size, that they control the size of. It's because of the server size that they need to host these pictures. And so any camera will do. That's why it's not about the camera anymore. It's about the way you take the picture. It is crop this picture in with the camera, use the camera's full capabilities, and then upload the picture so you don't lose the quality of the picture whenever your customer is someone like me who is God forbid, I'm mid-50s already and needs to zoom in on the picture because I am old and my arms are not long enough anymore to get to my viewing range. So I need to zoom in.
For me, I just use the iPhone it goes into the iCloud. It comes right up on my computer, and then if I need to do any editing, I'll do it there, and then I upload them into eBay. So I don't even have to, mess with a cord or SD cards, nothing like that. It's just automatic.
Okay, so we'll welcome Mark to the chat. I am Friday evening, and I'm sitting there, and I hear this voice, and I'm like, I recognize that voice. I turn around and look, and Mark is standing there. SM Postcards. If you're not subscribed to him, learn about postcards. Mark has a nice YouTube channel about postcards. One of the most detailed minds I've ever met about the way they organize, the way they all their systems. John had to come up with systems after he started stuff, and now he thinks through systems. He does not hold a candle to Mark. Some people think in systems. Mark thinks analytically in systems, and it's absolutely amazing. Just talk to him for quite a bit of time. That was one of the highlights of the trip was getting to meet Mark in person. What a great time. But if you ever want to learn anything about a postcard or about an organization system or give yourself some ideas, check out Mark's channel.
It's been 1 year for my weight loss. I see him talking about it in the chat.
Has it really
good too?
been a year already,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, it's been a year. I'm like 84 pounds down.
Yeah, I started first year. I'm 9 months, so
I just have celebrated my 1 year weight gain. Hey, I got to celebrate something.
yeah, I'm still stuck. I haven't lost anything in like 3.5 weeks. But
So for my 1 year weight gain, my wife, and you'll all be happy about this, bought me extra long shirts.
all right. I thought you were about to show us like a 3X tag.
It's a 2X, by the way.
My shirts are big.
I have a whole different set of shirts because I've never been able to wear this shirt. Pat sent me 2 of them because I've been so big, and now they are.
My wife got sick of seeing certain things, and so did everybody else. So we went to the DX Big and Tall store, and man, $20 a shirt.
She fired you. She fired you for being a plumber, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not a plumber anymore. So anyway, she bought me enough shirts for one a day.
But
Lori went from
Damn
they're talking about
quitters.
Lori too. Lori lost a lot of weight. She went from a 2XL to she wears mediums now.
she doesn't even look like the same person, John. I mean,
No, she don't.
You see either one of y'all separate, and you go, "Holy crap!" And then you see both of y'all together, and you really go, "What in the world?"
Well, I mean, between us, we lost close to 160 pounds. 140 pounds. Sorry.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm down 47 this year. I gained 2 back this week, so we'll call it 45, but that'll be gone in a day. Let's see. So Peddling Province is Team No Phone. There, I would used to tell you I prefer Android phones, but due to my current living situation of the past 35 years, she requested I use one, and it's whatever you've got. Understand. The message I have for you about a phone is they're all nearly the same. One is a better ecosystem than the other, but the other one has more innovation and more customization. That's your 2 differences. Whatever it is, get the most out of it. It is a computer that you walk around with, and understand. Like last night. Last night's a great example. Tuesday night wing night. I needed to send a link to someone. One of the guys there. I'm like, I'll send you an affiliate link when I get home. I could never remember that, so I just tell the lady in the phone, when I get home, remind me to send Joe a link. When I pulled in the driveway, it said, send Joe a link, and it said, arriving at Scott Zilke's house. So they are smart enough that you can put them by time, by location, by whatever. And so if you have trouble remembering, make the phone remember. If I make notes. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week, trying to commit myself to really working on YouTube and getting back to more of the teaching that I used to do about eBay, about Amazon, about whatever it is. Because I really, I'll be honest with you, I think we're next year is going to be much tougher than this year, even though everybody is struggling now. I don't think we've begun to struggle yet. And the one thing I can tell you is here's a stark reality. So John Cincinnati Picker, really great guy. Most people follow John. He is as nice in person. He and Whitney are as nice and good as people as he's coming across on video. John was up there introducing everybody, and he said, "How many people were here in 2022 or 2021? Whenever the last reseller rally was, it was in Cincinnati, and maybe 40 to 50% raised their hands." He goes, "Now this is a good one. Who was in Chicago for 2017 for the first one?" I was not there the last one, but I was there the first one. I raised my hand. John raised his hand. Pete raised his hand. Craigslist Hunter. That was it, folks. There's your whole 2017 crew. And so, it got me thinking. So we blame eBay and these platforms for all their craziness, but understand the pandemic has created. There's so many pandemic resellers. And I'm glad a lot of you guys have joined us. If you're a pandemic reseller, this is not a negative. But the one thing I can tell you is as you lost your jobs or needed to find more income as everything shut down, you found reselling. I'm thrilled that you found reselling. But understand you started when it was the easiest. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. There was everything sold. No matter what you did, you could go to any store, everything. It was like the good old days before I started. They used to talk about 2009, about every item. RA in 2009 and 2012, before everybody was doing it, was insanely profitable. And now that that's why I've started teaching again, because as things are turning and there's more competition, there's more new people and people understand, I don't see there's that many real voices out there who will tell you, how to optimize a listing. I talked about free shipping or not free shipping in the last video last night. I don't think there's too many voices out there where you can come and get reliable information, at least some information that can make you think. And there are a lot of people that need it there are a lot of people struggling right now, and they don't realize they're part of their own problem because they started when it was so easy, and now they don't understand as eBay is struggling and times are struggling. They don't understand why they're struggling, and they're part of the problem, but they don't know it. It takes work, and because the one thing I've always said is you run a small business, congratulations, you're the CEO of your own company. You have to do the high level thinking. You have to be the one. Not only are you the sourcer, which everybody loves, you're also the lister, but you're the one you also do the planning and the accounting, but you're also the one that has to take a big picture view and be able to look at your own processes and see, hey, wait a minute, I need to do this. Nobody's going to tell you to improve unless you're blessed to have a friend in this business who will look at your account and go and be honest with you and go, I think you need to change this. Unless you, and that's few and far between, folks. And so it is most of the time you. And so.
And then you give up on telling your friend that what they should do, like hire a teenager or something. Not that I know anybody like that.
We technically did hire a teenager.
He's listening to remotes today. I gave him some Reese cups and a new set of headphones. Does that count?
The one thing I can tell you is the top 2% of the sellers on Amazon are focusing on all the things Scott's talking about, optimizing listings, a lot of AI generated 3D imaging being done. Every keyword is being filled out. They're optimizing everything because as a larger seller, I know what's coming. This economy is going to turn, and there are going to be a lot of. Thrasio is contemplating bankruptcy. They're going to file. They're only contemplating it because they're trying to save a little bit of face right now. Thrasio is a group that raised $3.4 billion and was buying up little Amazon sellers, and now they're going under. There is, if you pay attention and you actually work, there's going to be a lot of opportunity coming because a lot of these resellers are going to be gone.
Look at Rite Aid. Look at Rite Aid. Rite Aid is closing with 500 stores. I mean, and Rite Aid. I understand it. You know, I watched this company and I've done this for years with them. Their strength is their prescription business. It's worth billions and billions of dollars, but yet their stores operate like hell and they're having to close. They have been able to skate by on bad operations with the pharmacy carrying them, and now as things get tighter and tighter, I think they only got like 2,800 stores left, 2,600, whatever. They sold half of them to Walgreens, and now they only had a half left, and they're shuttering 500 of them.
We just lost one locally. They just shut one down, and it wasn't a slow store. In fact, it was in a busy area. So why they shut that particular store down, I don't know. It might be a higher theft area. It might be, maybe they're liquidating those kind of stores first. Who knows? But they are definitely starting to shut them down, and that's sad because Rite Aid's been good to us over the years.
So Timothy said Target's closing stores too.
That's mainly due to theft. Yeah.
But a lot of stores are. I can't imagine people that are open. There's a lot of new stuff coming to Huntsville, and I'm looking at it thinking, man, y'all are some risk taking folks. There's a reason why if you're a small business owner, there is a lot of risk, but there's also a lot of reward. It is so Josh Galt, who is he's got more of a financial mind than I do. Bonds are going to keep going higher, which means interest rates will have to go higher. That's a big killer for the economy.
Midlife Picker says, prepare for hard times ahead. We've talked about it a few times, parting out stuff and things like that. You better start switching your eBay model now. Christmas is going to be good. People love to spend money at Christmas.
But it's what are you going to do in January whenever everybody when the credit cards statements coming due? What are you going to do? I've got a feeling the first quarter is not going to be great next year. I don't think I think the fourth quarter will be okay, but it's going to be down. I keep wondering to myself, where are people getting all this money from? When they'll tell you that the Rosie that unemployment's only this, we've got inflation down to 3 or 4%, whatever it is. The one thing I can tell you is with the government is when the government doesn't like the way a number comes out, they change the calculation. Unemployment now versus the way it was calculated before is not the same because now they calculate unemployment once you've been out of the job market for so long. You're still unemployed, but they don't count you anymore because you're not you're not in the job market. You're not unemployed. You're just not in the job market. Who thinks that way? It's the same thing with inflation. There's a staple set of goods. They go by, they judge it here to here. Where at one time it was on that list was steaks. Certain kinds of steaks was on the list. But as they go, well, that makes inflation look worse. Let's compare it to ground beef instead. They change the items they look at. A number is just a number. You can manipulate it however you want to. Do we think Black Friday? No, I think Black Friday is going to be the only way Black Friday is a success is they're going to have to be more crazy deals. There's got to be an incentive to get people out there.
I could tell you one thing about Black Friday. Walmart. If you go to any Walmart today, you're going to see all these trailers parked out back of Walmart. That's all their Black Friday crap. They're like these mint green boxes, big long trailer box. So they're already ready. Their stuff is already there, just waiting to be put out on the floor. It's crazy.
But the one thing it tells me is Brenda's 100% correct. She says Christmas went good if you have the right stuff to sell. But that's the one thing you've got to figure out. And, that's what I've done. And I try to is when you look at what you're buying and look at what you're selling, look what I'm listing. Is it stuff that people want now or stuff that people remember, just think about products and how products are. As times get tough, certain products get harder to sell. Um, there's going to be people that have got money and buy these products. So I'm not saying the market completely dies. It just gets harder. Um, we've seen it at estate sales. You come to the last day and you go, why is some of this stuff still here on the last day? It's because it is not a need item. It's a want item. And want items they get harder to sell. You can be sold, like iPhone sales are want, more of a want. You could get by with older iPhones, but the marketing push is strong on those. But look at the secondary market. What's the marketing push on an antique?
Well, take baseball cards. Take baseball cards. What during the pandemic, those things were. You could make a lot of money on baseball cards. Today, that market's dead.
Yeah, certain ones.
There's still money in it,
but it's not like it was. 100%, it's not like it was. So it's, I challenge you to take a look at your overall business and trim fat now before it catches up with you. Charles Taylor's midlife. I read that comment. Let's go back. Credit, second mortgage, tap in retirement accounts early. At some point, that money comes to an end, and so sell things people need, people want. If you've got large, inventories and that kind of stuff, start to pivot now. Anyone watch Resell Rabbit? Dude has saturated his local market so much. He's selling, he makes less and less. He buys more and more. I have not watched one of John's videos in a while. I need to catch up. I know he'll be. Anybody going to Vegas to the Reseller Remix? Say hello to Harlan for me. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Harlan will be out there. I know Commonwealth Picker will be out there. They've got a lot of big names going out there. But I know John.
How do you get any bigger than Harlan?
I don't know, man's a legend. So if anybody's got any reselling questions, throw them in the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer anything you got, or at least try point you in the right direction.
I want to know if anybody's sales have gone up since they introduced the. Now you have to put your credit card in if you make an offer.
I don't see that. I still wait for. I've only seen it like twice. Other than that, all my offers I still have to wait for.
I turned it off. You can turn it off in your settings.
I had to cancel one yesterday because they never paid on a lens.
I turned it off in my settings, and I watched some YouTube video, some small YouTuber. I don't know his name, and I apologize if you're watching. Speak up in the chat. But he talked about when you make an offer now, you have to put in your credit card information before you can even make the offer, and that might make some buyers uncomfortable. So I was trying an experiment where I turn that feature off. So we'll see if it makes much of a difference. He said it did for him, but that might not mean it would for everybody else. And if you're one of those types who get really angry when people don't pay, don't turn it off.
And so as your blue says, good morning. Makes no sense to worry about things you have no control over because there's nothing you can do about it. So why I take the opposite approach as things maybe a half approach. I can't control what's coming with the future with the economy, but I need to look at it and see if I can think my way through it and understand that if it continues to get worse and worse, which I think it will, what do I need to be selling? What's the one thing replenishable, something, and I'm not talking about, for underwear. I've got plenty of women's underwear around here. I'm talking about maybe food is perishables, that kind of stuff. The one thing I can tell you is people, as long as you don't throw it away because it went out of date, people consume and buy again. And, that's a market that's going to make it through here. But
I go back every time to the same box seller or the same tape seller or the same, whatever, the stuff that I consume a lot of. and I buy
Right.
again and again and again from that person. And if I could figure out a product, and you got the granny panties and stuff, but if I could figure out a product that would do that for me, then people are going to come back over and over and over if you give them good service. Now, I've changed up and didn't like it. So I go back to that person who I know gave me good service every time.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I actually in the shipping video last night. I kind of went off a little bit of a tangent, but the one thing as you're choosing what to charge somebody for shipping and the total price is what is a good deal, and really the secret sauce of reselling is to understand the art of the deal ends up at the end of the day is the consumer needs to feel they got a good deal at the purchase price for the item they were looking for, and the quality and everything they were looking meets all their expectations, and especially price. But the seller on the other side also needs to have the same, I got a price I can live with, it's a successful transaction, everything went well. And so understand that as things get tough, maybe it's not about maximum profits you can make whenever you need to move an item at 10% discount. Is still something that you can live with and successful and sell more items.
But doesn't that really maximize your profits in the end?
It does, but
Because
people look at it
because
that way.
if you just sit on it at the higher price, you're just sitting on it and making nothing. If you lower the price a little bit to be competitive, you're maximizing.
We don't talk about the time value of money enough, and understanding that, and the flip. The more you turn over your inventory, there's a reason why Amazon has an inventory number, and sell through and inventory turns are on there. I guess sell through is the next video I'm about to make, and really talk about, because I keep getting the comments from folks, and every time I mention sell through, the maximum is 100%. Oh, you're wrong. I'm like, and then they give me some example of, they had 10 and they sold 30 at the end of the month. I'm like, that means you didn't have 10. That means you had 10. You purchased another 20. You sold all 30. It's 100% sell through. It's a time bound period measurement, but they want to go. But I had 10 on October 1st, and October 31st I sold 30. I sold 300% of my inventory. You forgot to add in what you purchased. You forgot your purchases. So I guess that's the next video. Sell-through rate and inventory turn. Those are things
People like to hear those big numbers. It makes them feel good about themselves. That's all it is. Semantics, I guess. Not semantics even, because it's wrong. It's false.
Okay, so 904 Graphs. I don't recognize the name, so welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Great question. eBay store is a heavy niche with other items mixed into. You think I'd be better off creating a click store and listing the non-niche items, or I stay? This answer has changed. Before, I would have told you, make some categories so that it kind of separates it and leave it all in one store, make it easier on yourself. I would tell you now, because of the way that they are rewarding and sell through, what do the items? How do the items that you need to do a comparison, and the item that you're mixing in with your niche, do they have similar sell-through rates? Because if they don't, and you're mixing in items that don't sell as fast, you're going to weigh down the sell-through rate of that store, and it's going to overall going to slow down your sales. It's just the way the things that as observe and listen to everybody as they talk. The more I list, the less sales. And that used to be the exact opposite. And it's because if you continue to list lots and lots of items, you bring down the sell-through rate of your store. So I would really look at how those items sell through versus how and what effects that'll be on your overall store. And if it's faster, if they sell through faster, I would probably put them in the main store with you, because that will overall lift. But if it's the other way, I would think seriously about, so if I was to open a store that sold, I don't know, some kind of media, if I was going to sell like DVDs, DVDs, depending on which ones you get, can go fast or slow. And so if I was going to concentrate on out of print DVDs and higher priced DVDs, they would need their own store, because that is a product that people still want, but they're not going. It's not going to sell like the brand new DVDs. Like
in that case, I'd put the word DVD right in my store name, because it's easier for people to remember, and they'll come back because you only sell that. Yeah, I think it makes more sense now too.
So that's what I mean by all that, having all the newer pandemic resellers. It's the thought process you now have to put through as eBay changes and switches to a sell-through model and a different whatever Josh calls a search. I forget the type. There's a search specific type of search that they've switched to. Before, you would get, I'm consistently listing 100 items a day. And you would be rewarded for being on the platform. You would be rewarded if your items be moved up in search, no matter how they sold. But now
that is actually the wrong way to do it. If you think about it.
Just go back and look at any people who've been here a long time. They celebrate the fact that they have 1 million items listed. But the one thing I would tell you, if you have 1 million items listed and your items are not selling, there is something wrong. Okay, so you got a different business model than I am. You're running items that are slower mixed. If they're slow on a normal, in a good economy, if your items are slow, and we have an economy that is in slow decline, it's my opinion that we're in the teeth of a recession that they want to not tell you it's a recession, because it's not politically popular to say recession on either side. So how much harder is it to sell those items when people don't have any money? And then we sit back and go, it's eBay's fault. eBay has some blame, 100%. They're changing and they're not perfect and they're on and on. But it's not all their fault. They can't control the economy. They can't control what people buy based on the fact that things are outside of their control. And the money supply. So you've got to really examine and really think, how will the decisions I make affect my store? I tell you all this to tell you that I'm considering selling some items that are slow sell-through items. 100% considering creating a store that's going to sell slower sell-through items. But did you heard what I said? Creating a store. Because I don't think the model is necessarily bad to sell slower sell-through items, but it is now bad to mix them with a main store. If I have a store that's selling items that turn relatively frequently.
I think having a niche store, going back to that, has been a thing that's been good for. Look back on Crazy Picker Life. They had cameras. That was it in that store. And then I don't know if they had another store for their other stuff, but that was. And guess what happened? People came back time and time again to buy from them because they had a good reputation for selling cameras. They were very knowledgeable. They could help you set your camera up, do whatever, And so I think actually, if you think about it, it's not a new thing. It should have probably been the way it was all along. Look at postcards. Mark only sells. Well, I know he sells some toys on that account as well. But
no, he has gotten rid of all those. He's only postcards.
But people come back to him because he treats them right. He gives them good deals, and it's a niche thing. And his store name is easy to remember. What is it? SM Postcards. I mean, that's not
right.
And it has postcards right in the title. So if I were to create a niche store today, that's what I would do. I would use the name right in the title, so people knew what I sold, and I would give them good customer service and good deals. That's it. That's all you really got to do. And I think it might be the way to go if you have a lot of something. But for me, I'd probably put your underwear in its own store, that kind of thing, if you have that much of it.
So Ron said, talk about setting up a second store. So Ron, the easiest way to do it is to just put in your information for a second store, just like you would have started a first store. And then first thing you need to do is call eBay. And I don't say that lightly because I rarely call eBay. I've called them like twice in the last 5 years.
Yes.
And let them associate the two stores so your limits need to go up. That is one advantage. So people would say, oh, but But if they associate the two stores, then what if you get in trouble with one and they shut them both down? Then you're a crappy seller, and you
Don't
shouldn't
get in
do it
trouble.
to begin with. If you're worried about doing something wrong, maybe you should concentrate on doing something right at one store and not have two stores. That's what I would tell you. So have them associate the two stores so they'll raise your limits. Will they match the limits? No, but they will get you out of the you can only sell whatever like a branded beginner. The other thing I would do is I would use that as a buying store, Ron. I would buy some things to get a little bit of feedback because remember, most people just look at the feedback and look at the number. They don't look at it whether it's you as a seller or you as a buyer. And so having a feedback because I need some shipping supplies. I will buy them with the new account. Because the one thing I can tell you about buying shipping supplies on eBay, most of those guys are really big stores, so they have automatic feedback, and so that will automatically build you up some feedback.
I have an old store that I used I've had it since 1999. So old that it's only 4 letters long. An eBay store name with 4 letters. You can't do that anymore. I haven't been able to for years. My son uses it right now. If I wanted to open a niche store, I'd probably use that because it's an old established account. But if you don't have that, then yeah. I didn't know that eBay could associate accounts like that.
Yeah. So RG wants to know what I think about the alarm supposed to go off. They're testing emergency broadcast and all that crazy today. I think a lot of people are making a lot of money on videos and stuff scared the shit out of you. That's what I think.
My wife turned off her iPad because she didn't want it to go off and go crazy at 2:45. I said, "You're not going to be home at 2:45, and your iPad is. Who cares?" But she turned it off anyway.
I think I hope I'm wrong, but I think as much ado about nothing. There's not much to worry about because there's not a lot you can do about it. It's whatever is going to happen is going to come.
It's just an emergency test, right? Emergency system
it's
test.
an emergency test, but it's going to go over like anything internet connected.
Is that what time it goes off? 2:45.
So the one thing they really
turn
say,
everything on.
the one thing they really are scared about is that they're selling you on the fact that it's going to take 30 minutes. It's only going to go. It only takes a minute to send a signal, and then what are they going to do for the next 29 minutes? Folks, whenever you roll this thing out, you can't roll it out on every cell tower at the exact same time. So it's going to be a 30-minute roll across for the country, and so that's why they say 30 minutes because it's to get it across the country in 4 time zones and remember, it's got to go from Puerto Rico all the way to Hawaii and Alaska. You can't just flip a switch and it hits every cell tower. Just think about this. What happens when everybody on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, when everybody goes there? A couple years ago, when everybody goes to buy on Amazon, what happens? They crash Amazon. You can crash cell towers. You're going to do all that stuff. So, Amy Lee.
And as soon as it hits your phone, I'm sure you can click it right off.
So Amy Lee said
you cannot turn it off.
You cannot turn it off. People are talking about putting it in Faraday cages and all that stuff. None of that stuff works. It just delays.
I'm just going to deal with it.
So Amy Lee, 100%. TVs and stuff used to do this. They run siren tests on all the tornado stuff here every first Wednesday of every month.
We used to have tornado warnings all the time because we were in a that type of area. I don't know if they still do that. I haven't heard any in a while, but they would put the siren off.
So Robert says he has a niche store and an everything store. It does make a difference.
I think it does nowadays.
So you're saying I'm not crazy? That's what you're saying. Because I'm not going that far, but
Jacob has a different idea about you being crazy. I think
he talks to me more than most people, so yeah, he probably knows. Phil says, for one, I welcome our new overload rulers and welcome their guidance. I don't know if I want to go that far, but there are a lot of people that are trying to convince you. I mean, just go watch some of this. This is the argument that people have for censorship, because you get the crazies of platform. Like TikTok's really bad about it. It's like every other TikTok is something about the nuke test coming. So I see Todd there is putting his cell phone. I watched a guy last night who scored it. You know, he worked for the FTC
You're
or
safe,
whatever.
Todd.
And but he said that you had to crumple up the aluminum foil first and then spread it back out because you don't want any flat surfaces and then seal it back up and wait. So you've done that wrong. It's terrible.
You gotta wrap it twice.
There's not too many flat surfaces.
And so that's the argument for censorship is there's so much bad information out there. And so, but I would tell you the exact opposite, that all that craziness is the reason why you don't have any censorship. You have both sides. You have people. I'm for Darwin. I'm the person who says, why do we have a warning on a hairdryer that says don't use this in the shower? If you're going to use your hairdryer in the shower, we don't need to take care of you for the rest of your life. Maybe you need to go on to the great beyond.
Oh, it turned on. So those videos are made. I mean, the guy who made the video obviously does not believe.
We got some tests today.
We got a celebrity in the house with us.
Oh, shut up.
But those videos are made to see how gullible people really are.
Yeah, we got Jake.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning.
All right, everybody. I had one of the greatest comments somebody ever sent me after a show. You referred to Tom as an old woman. They go, have you seen the videos of the mad grandma, the mad cursing grandma? Because Tom looks just like her. So here we go. Does Tom look like the mad grandma?
I told you, we're doing an experiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just cut Scott out of my wheel.
Kind of sounds like him too.
How many views does she have, or how many subs does she have?
Oh, just an absolute ton, man. She's popular.
A hell of a lot more than all of us combined.
Yeah, that's what
Tom,
I'm saying.
I fixed my camera for you.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, I'll look that up later. But yeah, mad grandma. Yeah, Land Shark. It is because it's the same one as people are taking advantage of a flawed system. I was working at McDonald's when the old lady burnt her legs on it because she put the coffee between her legs and then squeezed the cup and it burned it. But it's hotter than regular coffee. That the Jakester here is the Starbucks alone. And that is a selling point for coffee. Is that
It's freaking hot.
it's hotter than what you can get it for at your home. At your home, it's a difference. That's the one thing I like about our new coffee maker that we've had for a year now is it seems to make coffee hotter than the rest of them. It means it lasts longer. You're killing us, Todd. You're killing us. I'm gonna get all kinds of comments. Like last time, I got comments. Tell the guy who's coughing. There's like 3 people. Turn his damn microphone off.
Sorry.
It's okay, Todd. They used to bitch about me vaping too. So
Yeah, they used Steven the vaping thing. That
You
was
can only imagine what they bitched about me.
oh, we won't even go into that.
You know what?
Here's what I got to say to them. Fuck them.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. You stole my tagline there. I just, I'm tired of everybody just bitching about everything. Everything is about them. Who cares? Who cares?
Even
He
Amy,
does sound like that grandma. And he's
Shut
about
up.
ready to.
he does sound like grandma. I'm telling you.
She's only got like 40-some thousand subscribers. She don't have as many as you do.
No, it's way more than that. She's bigger on TikTok than anywhere.
Oh, is she?
Oh yeah. They're always messing with her. They gave her. Oh my god, the one where they gave her one of those really hot chips. That was a good one.
The habanero one?
Yeah, no, the one that one of the one chip challenge things where they gave her one of those by mistake. I tricked her. That was a good one. Holy crap.
Back to the coffee thing. I'm assuming they have to brew it hotter so it will stay hotter longer in those damn paper cups.
But it's they lost my whole train of thought. It's terrible.
Good.
But it's just a reaction. It's just a reaction to the litigious society that we live in. But the one thing I can tell you is what makes this country different than most any of them that have come before is the adherence to the rule of law. And as we get further and further away from losing the rule of law, the country is, the country that our grandchildren are presented with, it's going to be a shell of its former self because the strength of America.
We'll reset though. I mean, even these places that are having a big issue with, these smash and grabs and stuff, they're starting to realize, we're losing all these things because our rules, our laws are sucking.
It's only hurt regular people. Regular people are the ones that get. And I have a hard time feeling sorry for the regular people because most of the time they're the ones who raised these idiots to begin with,
and voted in these politicians.
Yeah, they can't get out of their own way.
So many businesses are pulling out of there's so many big companies pulling out of retail establishments, pulling out of some of these cities. So where the hell is people going to shop? And then the governor of California be saying, well, wine. The big man is just trying to do it into everybody else.
The biggest issue here that I've seen is that, I don't know if it was California, it might have been Oregon, but the government wants to run the grocery stores now. They want to open government-run grocery stores. I do not think I'd like that.
Well, the other thing about California, too, is their exit tax. If you leave California,
that's not going to be around much longer. That's illegal.
Yeah, good luck collecting that shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it shows you their attempt.
Well, they did basically that to John just by having,
Yeah,
it's not an exit tax, but they screwed him.
It's one of the bigger problems that we have as a society, and people don't realize it because it's not one that is talked about a lot. But it's the use of the court system as a weapon against the U.S. people. It's because they make these crazy laws, knowing they're completely unconstitutional, illegal, and will be shot down. But they've got a 6 to 12 month window before a court will do anything about it. Because the first court is going to maybe put an injunction. The appellate court is going to come up and go, well, maybe we should wait and let somebody above us, as all these courts get overturned, and they're waiting for a Supreme Court of some sort. Todd, there's an echo with you, man. You're killing us.
Sounds like to be honest, it sounds like his microphone is turned way up too high.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's using.
It is crazy
because
loud.
You hear all that background noise.
Yeah, and it's been like that since
ever.
But so they use the court system, knowing that you've got 12. It's the same thing. Okay, I don't care what side of the election you're on. I'm not going to talk about winning or losing, but it's the same thing. All the courts were, well, they said, you can't file a claim against the election until after the election, and then after the election's over, they go, well, it's already happened. There's nothing we can do about it. It's the same thing with this law in California. We're going to charge you an exit tax until somebody else comes in and sues and gets rid of it. It's the same thing that's happening with guns. You can't have these clips. How long did it take us to get to the current situation where they found New York has had their laws against concealed carry permits for how long? And it took how long for the Supreme Court to finally get it? That law has been around 100 years or whatever. That was a long time restricting guns in New York City. And so the people that want to do that get away with this stuff until they get slapped on the wrist, because they really don't get
Did that fix it?
No,
you're still
Then it wasn't me.
No, it did you because I heard your
You're
seat
very overmodulated.
when you just adjusted yourself in your seat. I heard your seat move back and forth.
And you can hear a lot of background noise. It's just probably the type of microphone you're using.
When are they supposed to do the test today?
220.
You got some time to get your aluminum
What's the
foil.
big deal? I don't understand what the big deal about this test is.
It isn't really one. It's
The conspiracy theorists are out there saying they're going to fry all your electronics. That's why it's taking 30 minutes.
Now Todd sounds better.
And then there's others that are saying that if you got the shot, this is going to activate whatever they put in the shot, and it's going to kill
graphene.
graphene. That's going to kill millions and millions and billions of people. I mean, it's anybody who can get in front of a camera is saying the craziest shit that you've ever come up with. But look at it, so how does this stuff that have that as we've, these laws, as I tell you about, the things with California and the exit tax, how does that affect you as a reseller? Look at what Amazon has done. And
You sound a lot better, Todd.
Amazon has made an environment where it is very negative against the people that sell on their platform. They have made it very punitive, and now the FTC has finally stepped in and is going to investigate them. And I don't have any great hope that they're going to do anything, but at least somebody's looking at it. It's a little bit in the news, but what has happened? Amazon has been run just like one of these bad actors of these states, because how much money has Amazon taken, stolen, grafted, made, increased from Bezos' garage to where it is now, until somebody finally goes, enough's enough. It's worth it to these people to take billions of dollars before somebody goes, well, you shouldn't have done that.
They're never going to be able to break Amazon. Amazon's going to have to break Amazon.
We used to have a company here, and every year they'd get this big, huge fine for pollution. But they kept on doing it. You know why? Because the fine was less than, the fine didn't really mean anything to them. It was less than them fixing the problem, way less. So they just budgeted it every year for the fine, and that was that. Now that company's out of business now, but not because of that.
What's the old saying? It's better to ask for.
And that's what's going to happen with Amazon.
What is it? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Hey, Lag's in the chat.
Lag says it's a backwards day. So something's really going to happen if I'm not believing in a conspiracy theory. Stop that. Sorry, my the touchpad on this thing is too sensitive. This is the more nicer, friendlier beard. Do y'all like him?
With your pink shirt.
Let me tell you.
No, this is Cancer Awareness Month. This is for Pat.
Okay.
Pat D sent me a couple of these shirts. Did you miss the first part of the show where Johnny was on for like 15 minutes?
No, Todd gave me some kind of damn croup or something, and I've been sick for the last few days. And
So anybody missed? If anybody's late joining us, welcome to the show. We started out this morning with my lovely wife, reminding you of her cancer story. She's coming up on her 5th year anniversary of diagnosis, which is a huge number for cancer survivors. She volunteers twice a week at the CCI Cancer Center, the Infusion Center. Basically, I tell her she is an airline stewardess because she pushes around the snack car. So what does that mean? It is lightly filled with just stuff because they can only afford to do so much. And people are there for 3-4 hours at a time, 72 people at a time. And so a lot of the volunteers, they bring candy, they bring other snacks to give more, so that, because like the guy she met Thursday who thought, you know what, I'm just going to between this mess and this mess, I'm just going to run to the restaurant and grab something and come right back, until he was informed, oh no, you don't leave. And a lot of them are too weak to leave and that kind of stuff. So, and you'd be amazed what financially going through cancer will do to you as well. And so she's just asking you guys to help her celebrate by clicking on the link to her Amazon wish list and donating a snack. She's got all kinds of price points from like $3 to $30. If you can help out, she will personally pass the snacks out for you.
I saw it as low as $2.50 for some, little dirty
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that
She
in
did
the
that.
description?
She did that on
Yep.
purpose. Yeah, it's in the
Yes, it
description.
is.
She did that on purpose in order to so that everybody
Oh,
can
it's
help.
it's also stuff that's needed too. I'm sure.
That's 100% needed because every bit of it will go. They have a supply closet, and she would just go and fill it all up. So as the volunteers get there and refresh the regular stuff's on the cart, and they add all the extras before they start. And she does that 2 hours a week, every Tuesday and Thursday.
I sent some. Let us know if she needs more later. Okay.
Yeah, her.
Yep.
So she came up with this idea on her own, and she put it on her Facebook page to start with. I think it's on Instagram now too, and she's already gotten a few things. Laura's in the chat. Laura, whatever you sent her, Laura, it's already here. So thank you so much.
Do a
her boss-
follow up or something in about a week.
Her boss is like this. She's got a picture on Instagram talking about it's like Christmas. There's like 6 boxes that came yesterday. Amazon decided to ship everything in its own box individually, which was crazy.
I hope they don't do that for mine.
But she, her boss, the coordinator for the volunteers, liked it so much. She's like, I need you to, next time there's a group together, we need to get you to tell everybody what you've done. And it's a great way because there's a lot of people that would really want to help. If you don't know somebody who has personally been affected by cancer, you're a rare person. It is truly something that, for those you don't know, my father died at 43 years old of cancer. It was a tough thing for me to face that, it might take my wife as well. There's somebody in your life that's been affected by cancer. 1 in 8 ladies will face breast cancer. And this is not just breast cancer, folks. This is the cancer center. So the saddest story, Lord have mercy. And I don't know if the lady passed away or not, but there was a mom who was taking her daughter for treatment. And we met them because Johnny talks to everybody. And because they were like right across from us. The next week, it was really weird because they had switched places. The daughter was in the caregiver's chair, and the mom was in the chemo chair. The mom had been diagnosed with a deadly, crazy cancer that she got a diagnosis of 3 months. It's something. It's got a nun's name to it. I forget what it is. I'll get Johnny to tell me what it is. But the daughter was finishing up her treatment and had a great prognosis and was most likely going to be able to be like Joni and continue on with her life, as her mom has now had a reoccurrence and was going to most likely think the survival rate of that one was like 2%. When I looked it up, I looked at it, I'm like, I was shocked how bad that one was. And so you just never know what you're going to run into. And the one thing I can tell you is, but Johnny was scared to death the first time, and I was too. And we actually met a reseller's wife there. Anybody know Tim Jordan in the chat? If you do, say yes or whatever. But Tim Jordan is a big guy on the Amazon side, especially private label. John, what company does he work for now? He works for somebody.
Carbon 6.
Yeah, Carbon 6. He works for Carbon 6. He lives like 8 miles from here. He lives in the neighborhood Harlan used to live in. His wife was the first chemo nurse Johnny had, and Jessica is absolutely a beautiful human being. She's now one of the doctors. She's gone on to get more education, and she works directly with one of the doctors now. But we were very fortunate that she put Johnny at ease, and she was she's a very kind person, a perfect person that Johnny needed for the first. But the volunteers came in. We met a husband and wife volunteers. Even though they're Auburn fans, I'll give them that. They were just the sweetest, kindest people, and you just don't know what just having somebody there to even ask questions and talk to. It's yeah, I know Noel's here. Noel is a cancer survivor as well. Noel has faced down the evil beast that is cancer. They Noel, if I'm not wrong, they didn't give you very long. And and her sister is fighting as well. So it affects everyone. How am I making out with VQ? Vequo. I've used it 4 or 5 times now.
Miko.
I put a pause on it for this week. Seems last week as I was trying to because it does eBay and Amazon at the same time. I didn't separate them. I left the invoice hanging out of 2 of the packages, and when I flipped them over and put the thing on them, I forgot to seal 2 of them. So yeah, that was that. So that was
Wait, you're saying that even though you're a longtime seller with thousands and thousands of sales under your belt, you make mistakes sometimes.
I absolutely make mistakes. No one's perfect but I can tell you the mistake that I didn't make. I didn't put the person through hell. I didn't do all the craziness. Because by the time I read his message and I said, "Hey, could you give me a picture of that just to verify it?" He had already uploaded 4 pictures before I can even get the response. And I'm like, "Dude, I am so sorry. I apologize. He was a real nice guy." And I explained to him, I guess change for the old man is not great. I was using a different shipping service. I apologize for that. Really nice guy. I got him a real quick refund and moved on. Let him purchase. It was just it's like a $19 piece. And then I had another one come in. I didn't even ask that person. I just sent them a refund and apologized because I knew that I had screwed up. If I did one, I know I did 2. So don't compound a mistake. You know, how many people would have said, "Oh, they're just trying to get one over on me. They put that on a new envelope." I know I sealed it up. Folks, sometimes the crazy stuff happens. Sometimes it just happens that way. And don't assume everything is not a scam. Everyone's not out to get you. Sometimes
now.
Maybe 0.1% of the time, maybe it's a scam. But every time I've asked for proof, which I don't like to do because that doesn't build trust with your customer. Yeah, it was my fault. Clearly.
Yeah. So midlife picker, radon. This house radon is crazy. So we're at the end of the Appalachians, and there is, it's in the soil here. All the houses around us are all negative, and this one here is crazy positive. I think anything 4 or above is considered. You need a mitigation system for radon. This house measured at 16, including this building. 16. There's and the guy before us didn't have a system in the house, and so there is a radon system now in there. And when I built this building, I had them check it. There's actually on the other side of the stairs, there's a radon. It's basically a hole in the ground with a fan that it pulls stuff that way and sends it out the side over there.
Did they put down the corrugated pipe underneath your slab?
No. They just drilled into the slab whenever they put the system in. I wasn't smart enough to go, you know what, we should probably do this ahead of time. So
I have a question.
We just called the same guy who did the inside, and he came and took care of it.
Why didn't you sue the previous owner?
So which address would you like me to send that to, heaven or hell?
There's your answer. You could have sued his estate.
Oh, he passed on, did he?
He actually died in the house.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He went on vacation.
Yeah, there's a red spot right in the middle of Scott's living room floor.
Where over his piano sits, covers it. Piano covers it.
I had to put the piano in the cover, in the corner. Yeah. No, he actually he was a single. I forget what he had. Not cerebral. The guy was wicked smart. Worked for Brown Teledyne, engineer, really smart. Never married, and went on vacation. Sat down in the master bedroom and passed away in his chair.
The radon got him.
Because I'm making a joke, but I'm also serious. In this day and time, someone would be back on the phone to Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe to suing the realtor and the seller because they didn't disclose the high radon content in it.
But it's like the house across the street, they were negative. The next door, all 4 of these around us or 3 of these around us were all negative but us.
I never even had my house checked, but I don't know if we have a radon problem here at all.
Monday's a holiday.
Maybe the guy came back reincarnated as a snake inside of a grill.
He picked this house on purpose, so he's a private pilot as well. and he could the airport back there. He could see his plane from here. That's why he picked this lot.
Did you buy the airplane too?
No, but they had to hire somebody to fly to Birmingham because that was the last thing out of the estate to sell.
I'll be in Vegas. When am I going to Vegas?
He has to check the calendar.
October 19th.
19th
his
and
version of
20th.
Siri.
I'll be in Vegas.
And the cruise
Lori makes a much better Siri than Siri does.
Yeah.
My wife knows. Listen, when it comes to spending my money, my wife knows exactly when I'm doing something.
our money.
Like I said, our money.
So Mark says he's not sure how he's losing the buy box. So if the buy box is completely disappearing, Mark, that means your price is too high. Amazon has decided that this is one that really the FTC needs to come out. The problem with these platforms is that everything is so damn secretive about it's proprietary to our formula. You can tell us at what price you're going to deactivate a buy box. I think I can only hope that the one thing that will come out of this with the FTC is
your price is too low too.
The disappearing buy box should go away. It should be, every listing should be the same, not based on the whims of Amazon and their, what they can sell it at, because they have strong armed a supplier in order to get a price that's ridiculously low so that they can ship it to you for free and match the same price that Walmart has.
I have seen them not give me the buy box. And in fact, I've gotten an alert on Amazon that my price was actually too low. I got a low price alert and high price alerts. High price alerts are way more common. So it could also be that, because he says he's lower than everybody else.
You just listed it and you're not sure if it will change. Well, if it's showing
It might
you
take some time.
if it's showing you as a buying options or whatever, the buy box is suppressed.
Is there no buy box, or is it just that you're not in it?
He said he's the only seller.
Said the only Prime seller.
Oh, the only Prime. Okay.
I think.
Well, remember, the one thing that's changed over Amazon the past couple of years is they have been giving the buy box to, especially price sensitive, to merchant fulfilled much more frequently than they have in the past.
And if they didn't, that would be a big part of this lawsuit as well. And it probably will be a big part of this lawsuit. He says he's just not in it.
Yeah, being a Prime seller doesn't automatically, it used to be when I first started back in the heydays, you could command 25, 30, 35% more, and they would still give you the buy box. Those days are, if you get above 10% more, then you're never going to win the buy box, as from what I've seen. So it has really become price sensitive, especially for the merchant fulfilled seller.
Also, I don't know if Mark is a business account, but Timothy makes a good point. I'm personal account now, and I don't get buy box. Never. Because you don't, if you're a personal account. So that's another factor.
All right, Mark. So is yours still in, a lot of time, are you still in back order, or are you actually available for,
there's so many damn factors that go into how you get that buy box that even if we give you 20 answers, it might still be the 23rd answer,
The one thing I would tell you is movement counts on the buy box, and if you've got a repricer that's moving it around, I got a repricer link somewhere. Hold on, banners. So the one thing,
I'd go closer to 845 if everybody else is there.
There's a Aura is rated as, for a lot of people I've seen. I read an article the other day. Aura is rated as the best repricer for the money. There's a link. It'll save you some money if you need a repricer. The one thing about Aura is they're rolling out the new beta. I just rolled to AI repricing, and so there are AI strategies that, after they talked about it for quite a while, and so I'm currently switching over all my repricing strategies to AI. I just haven't got to sit down and do it.
Mark is almost $100 cheaper than the other ones. that could cause Amazon not to put you in the buy box because I've seen it happen where you're that much cheaper, especially that much cheaper. I mean, if everybody's at 845, why would you go 750? Unless I don't understand that.
Because Amazon still wants to make all the money they can make because they make a percentage.
What would you do if you were Amazon? I wouldn't put 750 in the buy box. I'd put 845. Now, it depends on what the retail is everywhere else, because obviously Amazon checks other retailers and things like that too. But if the going rate across the internet is 845 and you're at 750, that means there's something wrong. That might be how they look at it. I don't know.
So doing it wrong, there are a lot of advantages on on all platforms. Sometimes paying for services is worth it.
There's no money in Amazon. Stay on eBay.
There you go.
I can tell you when I was big into Amazon, Inventory Lab was way more worth what I paid for it. Way more. Now I switched at the end because they raised their prices, and it was more of a matter of principle, even though I don't like to do things on a matter of principle. But I did get another service to take that spot.
I think my software runs about $1,500 a month.
I still use
But
Inventory Lab.
it's worth way more than what you pay for it, ain't it?
Yes, but I think VQ, or Vico, is going to get there where for a seller my size,
I guess we all go away. Oh, there we are.
I think it's going to be probably within the next year. It's going to be everything I need.
An Inventory Lab type
Vico?
system, is that what Vico does?
Yeah, because they already do stock take. What did you say, John?
It's gonna take them a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It's not a priority in Amazon's wheelhouse right now, but it will be.
I agree.
Is that a free system?
It's totally
Yes.
free currently. There's some caveats to it. You have to ship some percentage, 90% of your orders that you have synchronized through it for every feature to be free. But yes, it's totally free. And you
It'd be
get
interesting to look into.
I'm
not selling on Amazon right now.
you get to use Amazon Logistics shipping services for stuff that's not sold through Amazon.
No, Scott.
Currently, it's the only way I know of to ship through Amazon Logistics shipping without actually having the item sold on Amazon. So that might be a tip for somebody in the audience that's looking for something other than post office.
Here's what I know is you better start working for smaller profit margins. You better
Hey,
start
John, your
figuring out how
video
you're gonna run
is
your
quite a bit
business.
behind your voice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just his
I
cameras.
got one of them cheap Mickey Mouse cameras. I didn't
Oh, I
think I was
gotcha.
going to be online much.
I gotcha. I mean, your voice is clear, so that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean his voice sounds good. It sounds like he's using a decent mic, but is that the mic right from the camera?
Yeah, it's the mic and a camera combination. So it's
because
and
it's like
I paid $15 for it.
it's like full 2 seconds off or so.
Yeah. As long as I don't watch his mouth move, I'm good.
My internet speed's fine because I have satellite. I got
No, you're fine there. Yeah.
You're on Starlink?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Everybody was freaking out about the Starlink going over the other night. It was crazy. Everybody thought there was UFOs.
I wish Starlink had been available when I was when I lived at home with my parents, because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. There was no internet service. There wasn't even DSL out there. So I ended up having a company called Starband. We had a satellite dish, an actual satellite dish that provided service through Starband.
I bet you that wasn't cheap.
No, $100 a month just for the slowest speed available.
I had to do
That wasn't great.
Dial up well into the mid 2000s because of where I lived, because there was just nothing else, and it sucked.
All right, let's see. This would have been from about 2001 to 2005 or 6, maybe.
I used to play this game with Net Zero. Net Zero is free at the time. It's not now. I don't even know if you can use it now. But they went to a paid option after that. But I had probably 50 email addresses where I just sign up. I'd use up to 10 hours, then go to another 10 hours, then go to. It was fun.
My doctor's office thinks I'm dumb enough to fall for the flu shot.
They'll keep trying.
So walk into a Walmart on a Saturday, and they're they'll assault you at the door, and try to get you to get a flu and a COVID shot at the same time.
They're paid for that.
I'm out.
This poor lady, man, she has to stand there all day handing out these flyers, and I feel bad for her because she just doesn't look happy.
Well, she's.
I'm sure people say
not.
some shitty. I'm sure people say some shitty things to her about the COVID shot. You know.
I'm
And
sure
then
she's not happy about it.
No, my biggest thing is these little kids that they put out trying to sell me cookies and football cheerleaders, and God, it annoys me.
I don't have a problem with that. The Boy
Pimping out
Scouts
your
selling
children, I hate
popcorn and
that.
stuff like
I
that.
hate it.
I've
hated it since I was doing it.
So Bob says it goes to Amazon and a third party seller says Prime shipping, free 2-day delivery, and not until I go down to the bottom checkout it says 2 days later. That means it's in Amazon in back order.
It just it just may not be
where you
processed.
live.
Just because it says you're Prime doesn't mean remember.
Let us know next week if things have changed.
Remember,
do
everything
anything.
goes to a transfer warehouse, and then it Mark, that's probably the reason why you're not getting the buy box in is that you're in back order. He says it shows to take 8 days. Everybody else is going to do. Remember, it goes to you send it to a warehouse. Amazon immediately decides where they want, once they check it in, where it's going to go. And then it has to take 8, 10, 12 days to get there before it's out of back order. And they won't even call it back order, I don't think, anymore. They just give you the crazy date. It'll still show Prime shipping because it's in an Amazon warehouse, but it's
because we live in the middle of so many dadgum Amazon warehouses. Roberta can, if she orders something first thing in the morning, we might get it that afternoon. That same afternoon.
I ordered these shirts from that DXL place. I had this one the next day. It was crazy how fast they got it to me. I don't know where their warehouse is out of, but it came UPS next day.
I ordered some vinyl lettering to run through whatever that vinyl cutter thing is called, the Cricut. And
I have one of those.
Ordered it in the evening. It was here at 10 o'clock the next morning.
Nice.
It's
I love I don't use my Cricut anymore, but I love that thing. I use it sparingly once in a great while. I used to there was a time I was selling vinyl decals on Etsy, and I did fairly well with them. But I could never find transfer tape that I liked enough.
We know a guy that makes pretty damn good money with it.
Yeah, but he's probably got a regular vinyl plotter and all that stuff. You can only go so far with a Cricut or a Glowforge, for example.
So Midlife wants to know what's the high point of the reseller rally. The whole point of it was it was a social event and really just spending time being able to talk to people who. Well, I talked to a lot of people. They had to come talk to me first because I'm not John. I'm not going to just go. I'm just not going to go start a conversation with somebody. But
let's talk about that for a minute.
I think that's full of bullshit there myself. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Because I put a deal together last week that is worth somewhere between mid 8 figures to very low 9 figures in gross sales. And it's only because I network. This isn't a deal between me and one person. There was 5 people sitting at that table that had to be involved in this deal to be put together. there's 3 companies, 5 people. It's because of networking. So if you're not out there networking in your business, you're not going to grow.
Now there was quite a bit of networking that went on. A lot of most of about 100% eBay sellers. I was one of the few that sold on Amazon. But the one thing I would tell you, the strength of any of these conferences, there's the speakers are like the one Harlan's going to. The speakers are nice. They've got a lot of people that have the good information, but they have limited time to tell you anything, and they're not going to be able to answer personal questions. It's being able to speak one-on-one with other sellers to find out, if you got a question, they will answer it in person. They will tell you what they do, and how can you apply it to your business? You're never ever going to copy somebody exactly, because if you don't make it your own, it'll never work long term. But it's the networking, it's to get to know people. It's even if you think you know it all, to be able to see something from somebody else's perspective could change the way you see parts of your business. It is, and the one thing too is being around. It is very uplifting to be around people that just get it. How many times you have somebody ask you what you do and you explain to them, and they got that look on their face. They just shut down. They don't have a clue. They don't understand. They don't know why you do it. But then to be around, a couple hundred people that everybody does it, everybody gets it. It's very uplifting. You leave these events very recharged, ready to go back and make changes and make improvements, because you're never going to be the highest seller. You're never going to be the lowest seller unless you're John. Then you're going to be everything. But
John ain't anything. John ain't anything.
They're bigger fish than John. John will run into meetings but it's amazing the people you meet and their stories, and
the knowledge that you can gain. The knowledge that you can gain. I don't care how long you've been selling or how big of a seller you are. I go to meetings and I learn stuff from people that are brand new that I never thought of. So it's not about how long anything is. It's about just sharing ideas with like-minded people.
It's 100%. That's the strength of all these meetings in the networking. Even if you're no good at it like me, I still talk to just tons of people. And then there are people like Roman who
you can't help it.
You're going to talk to Roman no matter what.
You can't help people coming up to you and talking to you.
No,
it just and I am a lot like Scott, where I won't go and talk to you, but once you're in that situation, it's fine and it's easy, and you learn so much stuff from these people, and that's people who are bigger than you and people who are smaller than you. Everybody has great ideas. I looked at all of Joni's pictures from the rally. It sounds like she had a great time, and it made me feel like, man, I should have really figured out a way to do this. And
I spent a lot of time talking to Tennessee picker Kevin. Kevin's
a great man.
I've Kevin for quite a while. Kevin's just a solid individual. But even he learned something from the old man. So I told him that we both had. Let me grab this thing.
Kevin is the first person I seek out when I go to these kinds of things, just because he's easy to get along with. He's an awesome dude.
So I'll put up a YouTube short today. This is already on. It's already on TikTok. But so I purchased this last weekend at the yard sales, $25. It's an AE1 program. If you know cameras, it's currently listed on eBay. I think for like, I don't know, $189, $199. So when you pull the little thing back here to function test this thing, you pull the thing back. It's supposed to y'all hear it?
Yep.
So that means functionally it works. Did you know that underneath this piece right here, there is another little door and there's a battery right in there? I did not know that.
I did not know that.
And I sell a lot of cameras. And so, okay, so the next thing, that right there looks like just a regular space holder or something to keep the shoe from getting bent. But no, it's got a little thing on it. So it'll actually unscrew the screw here. And when this comes off, you'll see it in the video. there is a little, there's the little door there has got like a little slot that's amazingly, it's going to be that big. You stick it in it, it pops the door open, and the battery is sitting there. This camera would not
Did not know that.
actuate. It would not actuate because if you
Son of
hear
a
it,
gun.
Without the battery, it won't actuate. So I was going to sell it for parts, and I started looking.
I've done that.
And Kevin goes, I've got one for parts, and that's exactly what's wrong with it. And so I sent him a message. I said, I'm like, hey, listen, I just got the batteries in. That camera works. And he's like, I'm taking mine down today, and I'm gonna order batteries because for parts, this camera is worth about $50. It's listed for $200 because it's function tested.
And you know what? There are people out there who know that, and they're buying your parts camera because.
Oh, yes, they are. And
I've bought computers and things that way because people just don't know.
There's also the handheld Shark vacuums are that way too. The V7, the V10, and several of the V models are the same way.
Knowledge is power.
There's a glitch in them that if the washable, they have two washable filters in them. If they get a little bit too clogged, it will stall out the vacuum, and it'll start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. It's so bad that if you call the support line, that's the very first question it asks you. If you get down to that particular model, it asks you if it makes that noise. Well, a lot of people think their vacuum's broken.
And how easy is that to fix?
Wash the filter.
But that was just me and Kevin. I was talking about the camera. I told you that I had to order the batteries, that I was going to put the battery in when I got back.
You don't have to know anything about cameras to figure that out. Right.
I mean, so Kevin and I went to the flea market. I've got video of it. And so he picked up a set of headphones. I never saw them on the table, but I wouldn't have bought them anyway. And he's like, I just scored. I'm like, he picked them out. I'm like, what do you mean?
It's amazing.
He goes, these are old. They're headphones made by David Clark. They're airplane headphones from the 60s. And they're worth like $160 a pair. He got them for $20 each. And then I turn around and buy two other cameras that he's like, I didn't even see the cameras, but I probably would have bought them if, we buy a lot of the same stuff. But even I learned about those headphones that I live in.
His knowledge is crazy.
Yeah, so between the two of us, we had a great time. The flea market was a lot of fun. We both bought stuff. We both bought stuff to resell. You can go to somewhere. Harlan and I go to yard sales all the time together, and there's plenty of stuff out there. Everybody knows different stuff. Even if you're as similar as me and Kevin buying the same stuff, it's amazing the stuff that because I showed him that camera I bought. I'm like, look at this. Did you know I had the charge cable right here? There is a Sony camera that the charge cable comes out of it and it sticks in the handle itself. And so you don't have to worry about losing it. I think Johnny's car is locked, or I go get it. I'll put it on the video.
So there's the benefit of meeting up with other resellers is that you learn some things from Kevin, and Kevin learned some things from you.
And then we hung out a lot with she was in a chat earlier, my buddy Jennifer. And she has a completely different knowledge of stuff that sells that I have no clue about. And so
another one who's just got an amazing knowledge of
me and Kevin go one way and she goes bouncing off another way, and she calls a little while later. She's like, I've already looked at everything that I look at, and me and Kevin are going booth to booth to booth to booth. But absolutely amazing time meeting people and talking to people. And I wish I was better at the not being an introvert part. It's just I'm way better than I used to be. I'm just not.
I find that so hard to believe that you're an introvert.
I'm an introvert.
Ask Roman. Roman, tell him.
I am too. Yeah.
Roman, would you tell him how many people I didn't talk to at this meeting? He's anytime picker.
My youngest son bitches at me all the time. He says if somebody will stand still for 2 minutes, you're talking to them.
But like when I ran into Mark, because Mark's been on the show how many times, I felt like I knew Mark. I talked to Mark for quite a while.
Yeah, once you're comfortable.
Roman said I was hiding from him.
Being an introvert sucks. I can tell you that.
You weren't hiding from him. You were hiding from everyone.
Yes.
I'm an introvert.
Nobody believes that, Ron.
48%.
It's
I am
amazing.
I think, John, it's fair to say you're a learned extrovert, but naturally you may still be an introvert.
Now, being an introvert doesn't mean we are not going to talk to you. It just means that we're not going to seek you out.
Hey, Roman, I was really trying to hide from both you and Paul Philly Flipper because y'all were battling to see who was the loudest and most extroverted. I mean, you can't hard from if you don't know Paul Philly Flipper, that is a big dude. Good luck hiding from him. I mean, he's a very imposing figure. But anyway, I enjoyed every minute of it.
I'll have to go next year. I'll have to make certain to go. I'll make excuses not to. Like this year,
They only
I
do
don't
it.
want- I don't
It's
want
not been every year. It's been every couple of years or so.
Yeah.
So
Oh, the next time.
I don't know if there'll be.
I
one
miss
next
it. I mean, we used to have the Nashville gathering, and that was. I mean, I learned so much from some of those people, and Kevin was one of them, and I miss it. You know, even my wife is missing it. We talk about the Nashville gathering all the time, and she's not.
How
an
is it that
extrovert either.
I could not sell anything yesterday, and today all of a sudden, I didn't sell the first item on eBay last night till like 9:30, and then today I've already sold like 5 things.
I'll tell you, something's changed in the algorithm this week because I haven't listed in months, a couple months.
Paul,
So I'm just selling my stuff off. But this week, I've sold more than I have in the last 3 or 4 weeks combined already this week. So I don't know what's changed, but something has.
Yeah, flipping goodies. This one has this interesting 60s or 70s. I actually only made in the 70s. So it'd be a 70s. It came with there's another lens, a bag, the flash. The flash actually works. So yeah, that was.
I love finding those AE ones.
Oh,
All right.
shoot. I got
Phil says he's going to restart the Nashville next year. So
I'm out. I got a meeting, guys.
All
right. See you.
Hey, John. Hey, buddy.
Hey, John.
John.
I remember when everybody that I knew that was into photography, they had an AE one. I mean, that was
it was the one that the photography schools or colleges when you went to take, that was the camera that they suggested you start with.
Yeah, so everybody read flipping goodie. So this one here, if you see it right here, has the word program under it. This is the more expensive one of the two. Yeah. They make it AE1. The bigger difference, the program is the newer of the 2 cameras. This was one of the last SLRs that Canon actually made, and it was their best camera. I sold an AE1 last week too. I think I got 119 for it, but it's
they both sell well.
The AE, so don't overpay for the regular AE1 because it's about 60% or about 60% of the value of it.
But what'd you say you got out of the regular AE1?
I got 119 for it.
Yeah. So I mean,
it also depends
on what are you paying for these cameras? $20.
I pay $25 for this. It depends on what lens is on it. That Canon 50 is a 50 prime, and it is generally the one that's on them. It's a desirable lens because it's a prime lens.
You don't even have to know anything about cameras to know that the AE1 is good. Just look it up. I have not found a ton of those, but I've sold 4 or 5 of those over there. I have never found the programmable, just the regular. But
yeah, I was shocked that it was at a yard sale for $25. That was the one that I spent $170, $160-$70 at that yard sale. Sometimes paying up is not bad. He had 3 TVs, 19-inch Samsung TVs for $30 each. I was going to put them on my motorhome, but I never did. None of them were opened. So if you need one, they're on eBay.
Still in the original box, I assume.
Tom fell asleep.
No, I'm still awake.
Somebody yelling at
I'm damn near about to. This stuff that I've taken for this cold is just kicking my ass this morning.
Somebody yell at Grandma.
Like, you need to mind you.
What is Lag said?
Hey, listen, I did go to a flea market over the weekend, and there was a lady there that was selling clothes. And Scott, I gave her your YouTube name to tell, and told her to reach out to you to see if you could offload some of your big girl panties to her because that's all she had was ladies' clothes she buys from Walmart when it's on clearance and all that kind of stuff.
So that's a secret right there. Walmart right now, summer clothes at least at my Walmart, $1. And if you're a flea marketer, or even I've sold them on Amazon, but as a flea marketer, man, you could rake up. And they've been sitting there for a week at $1 and nobody's buying them. So because it's not the right season. But ladies' shorts right now are $1. There's some men's stuff that's $1.
All
You
right.
did really well with it.
I ran to see if her car was unlocked. This bit y'all's going away. So that was this little bitty thing was at the flea market. How many resellers walked by this camera? I asked him how much he wanted. He said $5. You know
what?
$5 for the Sony Handycam.
I wouldn't even care what it is. I'd buy it for $5.
But here's the one. See the little cable? There's the charging cable. It sticks right in the. It's got a little thing that it kind of, if the USB fits right in to hold it, but you can hardly even see it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I sold the blue one of this last week for like 102 shipped. And so when
if
I
it
saw
said
this,
Sony on it, it was a little handy cam, $5. Jeez.
Yeah.
It
Always
doesn't matter
wanted
what
one of
model
those
it
when
is.
So that was, and I picked up a couple of TI 84s. How at one end of the flea market, I got two TI 84s, one regular, one silver, for $7.50 each, and at the other end, the guy wanted $50.
Because the guy at the other end has researched, and the guy at the beginning just selling crap. That's why. But the guy at the other end is never going to sell that calculator at the flea market for $50.
But I'll get 50 on eBay for it.
I know what I got. He's one of those kind of guy.
All right, fellas, I got to get out of here.
Tactical Z, there was nothing political in this entire show.
Very, very, very tiny amount.
So he'll have something to say tomorrow, though.
No, we'll all be dead tomorrow because of the alarm.
Don't be holding your phones now when they start the test.
I will be
there in the microwave with the microwave turned on.
So this is the last reseller event because my computer's going to be fried at 3 o'clock. It was nice knowing everybody.
Like Y2K all over again.
All right. This has been forever. Roll Tide.
Sweetwater out.